Welcome everyone to the month of November. This is a press today. It's an avenue where we bring to you newspapers from Africa and outside Africa. This day we're starting with the weekly, The Zimbabwean from Zimbabwe. The weekly brings this astonishing one to readers, which says Police Commissioner General Augustine Chihuri and other senior officers have been named as being behind a clandestine bid to pressure members of the force to join a new federal scheme run by Serving Cups. That story is on the front page and it's the broad cover story for today. The paper informs readers that one of Bulawayo's leading clothing companies, Belmo Manufacturers, closed its shop last week, leaving about 300 workers jobless. Go to the front page and find out why banana farming is in decline in Zimbabwe. Away from that, we look at Business Day from South Africa. The South African Daily reports that South Africa's trade deficit ballooned in September to its widest level in nearly 4 years, reinforcing concerns that the rand could weaken sharply if South Africa fails to attract sufficient foreign capital. And Landmin Platinum on Wednesday gave notice to unions that it intends to restructure operations and cut employee costs, which could result to retrenchment. Murray and Roberts said on Wednesday that despite government announcements that it planned to spend 4 trillion rand on infrastructure over the next 15 years, not a single tender has been issued for a major infrastructure project in South Africa is now bottom in an international measure of the quality of maths and science education. We look at Cape Times saying still from South Africa. According to the paper, Security Minister Siyabonga Swale on Wednesday urged MPs to reserve several widely welcomed amendments to the Protection of State Information Bill. The minister's stance included a call for the reinsertion of a 5-year jail term for individuals who disclosed classified information. The paper also says a political row has erupted over the Commission of Inquiry Premier Helen Zille has established to investigate Kayelitsha Police. Police Minister Nathi Terkwa asked why the prop excluded the DA-run city's Metro Police. Read more on Cape Times to get the details. We now take on the Wall Street Journal, the Europe edition. In the journal, it's written that U.S. authorities are investigating Barclays PLC for potentially violating anti-corruption laws during its efforts to raise money from Middle Eastern investors in the early days of the financial crisis. We are also told that the U.S.'s Northeast leveled to get back to daily life on Wednesday as millions braved traffic jams and patchy public transit to return to work. Life is somewhat returning to normal. As for 4 months after the job, the president of Panasonic Corporation, Kazuhiro Tsuga, has handed down a new round of restructuring measures aimed at solving the company's deep-rooted structural problems. Find out more from the front page. That's 4 months on the job. We look at The Guardian from the United Kingdom. Making a stop there, we say that, or the paper says, PM's hit by budget defeat and warning of rebellion by senior MPs over Europe. British Premier David Cameron will face a battle to secure parliamentary backing for any EU budget deal that falls short of a real terms cut after he suffered his first major Commons defeat on EU spending. According to the Guardian newspaper, senior Conservative MPs who stopped short of joining free Eurosceptic rebels in the division, lobbyists served notice they will turn against the government if Cameron refuses to harden his position. In another story, the paper writes, Sunday sympathy, Obama flies in the lift, New Jersey, but will polls follow? That's what the paper asked. U.S. President Barack Obama was on board the presidential helicopter Marine One, flying over the New Jersey shore, witnessing first-hand devastation left after by Superstorm Sandy. Obama's Republican contender Mitt Romney went back on the campaign trail in Florida. That's what the paper tells us. Now we're looking at the Washington Post. is from the United States, says that there is a daunting recovery in hard-hit New Jersey towns as beach communities and aging cities are bearing the brunt of Sandy's devastation. But the paper says large portions of the old factory city of New Jersey are still flooded, and palms were working round the clock to clear a toxic and potentially deadly mix of water, oil and sewage estimated at more than 500 million gallons. Still talking about the monster storm, the paper states that Sandy mostly happened to buildings in Manhattan, while the storm battered people in Queens. Virginia and Florida campaign 2012 suddenly shifted focus to a new trial of states on Wednesday amid a new verbal battle about which candidate is better positioned to win the vote on Tuesday. Now we take you to Asia to look at what the Wall Street Journal, the Asia edition, resolved for us this Thursday. The journal says millions of people are still without power and many coastal towns struggled to dig out from the debris and damage on Wednesday after the superstorm Sandy. All the papers are carrying what the storm cast these days. According to the paper, the megastorm is one of the largest to ever strike the East Coast, claiming at least 55 lives. In another story, Indonesia's counter-terrorism chief has said a group of suspected terrorists arrested there in the past week for allegedly planning to attack the U.S. embassy. Another U.S. target is likely connected to a long-established Al-Qaeda-linked organization. According to the paper, this week's revamp at Apple demonstrates CEO Tim Cook putting his own stamp on the company that still bears the hallmark of its late co-founder. We end this Thursday with Gulf News, a publication from the United Arab Emirates. Gulf News says 2 main airports reopened and the floor of the New York Stock Exchange on Wednesday came back to life after the mega storm Sunday. According to the paper, the National Guardsmen rushed to rescue floods victims across the river in New Jersey. Fire is also said to have raged 2 days after the havoc caused by Superstorm Sandy. The paper also gives highlights on the UAE, most prosperous nation and region. Country has ranked 29th overall and placed 9 rankings above Kuwait and 23 ahead of Saudi Arabia. Get all of that from Gulf News. There are other human interest stories that you can grab. Darren, thank you for trusting us. Go online and get all our papers on www.afriquemedia.tv. Have a wonderful time and have a bright month of November.